Hey guys, welcome back to this place, and if you are new, then welcome here for the very first time. I am Carmen.
I'm Calvin.
And today we are watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, Season 2, Episode 10. I am super excited because in the last episode, we had a lot of really cool stuff, like lightning and the little thingy from Iroh, and we had some earthbending from Aang and Toph, and we had Sokka with like the cutest little creature that grows up to not be so cute, but when it's a baby, it's so freaking cute. It's what is it? It's a moose lion saber-tooth cub.
It's a saber-toothed moose lion cub.
Yeah, that. They're really freaking cute. Like, I wish some of these animals actually existed in our world, or I could just have a plush of every single one of them. Like, I would just put them all back here. Or just, like, a new one here every time. Although, where would Momo go? Maybe, like, right here, a new one every time under Momo. Because there was also the turtle ducks, the ostrich horses, the cute little pentapusses, the pig rooster thing, the like sheep cow, pig cow things. It's just so funny. I don't know why. I take a lot of joy from the little creatures that they have in this show. I think the creators probably took a lot of joy in creating all of the little creatures as well. So yeah, I definitely enjoy seeing the little creatures that they have as well. I think that's it. So I'm going to stop rambling at you guys, and we're just going to start the episode. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. There's hundreds of little... Shh. I know you can see underground, but don't ruin the surprise. Just watch.
Is that another cute animal? If so, my cute animal rant is perfect.
Yeah.
That is cute.
Should we just head west until we reach the Fire Lord's house? Knock, knock. Hello, Fire Lord? Anybody home? I don't think so. We need some intelligence if we're gonna win this war.
Zuko. That's great.
How about the Misty Palms Oasis? That sounds refreshing.
Oh yeah, I've been there. It's one of nature's wonders. Must have changed ownership since I was here.
Yeah. Definitely oversold. It's like Star Wars. It's a Death Star. It is like Star Wars. That's funny.
No worries. I clean up easy.
You're a living relic.
Thanks. I try.
Professor Zay, head of anthropology at Ba Sing Se University. Tell me, which of the air temples do you hail from?
The Southern Temple.
Oh, splendid! Now tell me, what was the primary agricultural product of your people? What, no Fire Nation? Doesn't anybody have a good map of that place?
Probably the Fire Nation.
But I haven't managed to find the crown jewel.
What is the crown jewel?
Wan Shi Tong's library.
Oh.
This library is more valuable than gold, little lady. It is said to contain a vast collection of knowledge. And knowledge is priceless.
Mm-hmm. He's Daniel from Stargate.
According to
Except
legend,
a little
it
bit
was
more.
built by the great knowledge spirit Wan Shi Tong with the help of his foxy knowledge seekers.
Foxy
so
knowledge
this spirit
seekers.
has attractive assistants, huh?
I think he means they look like actual foxes, Sokka.
Oh, I've literally thought that. That's what I thought.
If this place has books from all over the world, do you think they've got info on the Fire Nation? A map, maybe? If such a thing exists, it's in Wan Shi Tong's library.
Okay, so they need to find that place.
I'd like to spend my vacation at the library!
I don't know why that's funny. Oh.
Sandbenders, shoo! Away from the bison!
Yeah.
Tell me, Sky Bison,
Look
are you
at
the
his little
last of your
chin.
breed? Oh, delightful! I only wish I spoke his tongue.
Oh, okay, I was like, how does he know how to speak to him?
Shush, chatty monkey.
He can tell too. He can talk to Appa. Well, it's probably covered in sand, to be fair.
Does this place even exist?
Some say it doesn't.
Shouldn't you have mentioned that before?
There it is.
Down there. What's that?
Can I just say, this episode is definitely giving me Stargate vibes.
The building in this drawing is enormous.
Yeah, and it's under sand now. Duh. He's got a scroll.
What kind of animal is that?
Looks like a wolf. Oh my god, okay, wolves cannot do that.
The knowledge seekers. Oh, we must be close to the library.
This is the library.
Yeah.
Look! It's completely buried.
Well, not completely. If you get in that window, then you can go down into it, right? Most likely.
My life's ambition is now full of sand.
But there's a window right there.
Time to start excavating.
There's a window.
That fox thingy went in through a window. I say we climb up there and give it a look.
I say you guys go ahead without me.
You've got something against libraries?
I've held books before, and I gotta tell you, they don't exactly do it for me.
Yeah, she
Oh,
can't.
right. Sorry.
Yeah. They might have Braille, you know.
What's up?
The spirit spared no expense in designing this place.
Owls.
Look at those beautiful buttresses. What's funny?
Nothing.
The exquisite mosaic handling
They like
of this
owls.
tile-rendered avian symbol. Nice owl.
Nice hooter.
Oh! Is that a giant freaking owl? Oh,
I know you're back there.
it talks?
Hello, I'm Professor Zay, head of anthropology at Ba Sing Se University.
You should leave the way you came, unless you want to become a stuffed head of anthropology.
Stuffed head of anthropology.
I am one Shi Tong, he who knows 10,000 things, and you are obviously humans, which, by the way, are no longer permitted in my study. Humans only bother learning things to get the edge on other humans, like that firebender who came to this place a few years ago, looking to destroy his enemy. So, who are you trying to destroy?
I mean, actually, that is true for why they're there. To destroy the fire
Knowledge for knowledge's
or
sake?
Fire Nation?
If you're going to lie to an all-knowing spirit being, you should at least put some effort into it.
Is that voice?
Yeah, I'll vouch. We will not abuse the knowledge in your library, good spirit. You have my word.
To prove your worth as scholars, you have to contribute some worthwhile knowledge.
Please accept this tome as a donation to your library.
First edition. Very nice.
Ooh, he's like,
I have an authentic waterbending scroll.
These illustrations are quite stylish.
Oh, I know.
I suppose that counts.
Oh, great spirit.
Sokka?
Check this out.
Ta-da!
No.
You're not very bright, are you? Enjoy
He took
the
it though.
library.
It's like a pity take.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna throw this away, but like, sure, I'll take it.
The darkest day in Fire Nation history. It's got a date at the top, but it doesn't say anything else. The information on the Fire Nation should be
remember
right
the
up
date.
here.
Firebenders.
They destroyed everything having to do with the Fire Nation.
I mean, it's smart.
I need to know what happened on the darkest day.
Seems it's trying to assist you.
Sure, I guess I'll follow you.
He's smart. Good boy. Dang.
Maybe these dials represent dates and times. Sokka, try entering that date from that parchment you took.
Katara! Not in front of the fox, he's with the owl.
Oh, you weren't his feelings. I mean, he showed you there. It's a bit silly.
Hey, wait. What
Or-
happened to the sun?
Great. You must have broken it.
The
It's
darkest
not
day.
broken. The sun is behind the moon. It's a solar eclipse. Now I get it. Something awful happened on that day. I don't know what, but I do know why.
Because they didn't have their full power. He
Fine,
wants
you
treat.
earned it. We'll wait for the next eclipse, then we'll invade the Fire Nation when they're totally helpless. The Fire Lord is going down!
Mortals are so predictable and such terrible liars. From the beginning, you intended to misuse this knowledge for evil purposes.
You don't understand. If anyone's evil, it's the Fire Nation. You saw what they did to your library. They're destructive and dangerous.
You think you're the first person to believe their war was justified? Countless others before you have come here, seeking weapons or weaknesses or battle strategies.
Please, we're just desperate to protect the people we love. What are you doing?
I'm taking my knowledge back. No one will ever abuse it again.
He's sinking the building. We've got to get out of here.
You already know too much.
Dang. He can stretch his neck a long way.
Library sinking!
Damn. She's strong.
Great knowledge, Spirit! I beg you, do not destroy your vast collection of priceless tomes!
Sokka, let's go!
But we still don't know when the next eclipse is gonna happen. If we leave this place, we'll never get the information. And come with me to the planetarium. I need cover. Katara, take Momo and get out of here.
But...
Go!
Hurry, Sokka! What is it now?
Those people. Yeah.
You can't possibly check every single date.
I don't have to. We just need to check every day before Sozun's comet arrives. Because after that,
It's
well,
pointless.
try not to think about that.
Yeah. Although that's still months worth of dates.
That's it!
There.
The solar eclipse!
What date?
It's just a few months away.
Eat 'em, Appa. Are they taking Appa?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Appa.
Y'all need to hurry. Appa is in danger.
At least I'll have one specimen to add to my collection.
Why is your neck so long? It's freaky.
He's a spirit.
I had freaky.
I've studied northern water style, southern water style, even foggy swamp style.
That's called Sokka style. Learn it.
Well, don't, because...
Professor, let's go!
I'm not leaving. I can't.
Dude,
I've spent too long trying to find this
you're
place.
just gonna die.
There's not another collection of knowledge like this on Earth. I could spend an eternity in here.
But you're gonna die though. It's gonna all be buried in sand. Oh gosh. Now let it go. Let it go.
Where's Appa?
You know, she did the best she could, honestly. Y'all would all be dead. Or at least buried. She's only one person. She can only do so much. Okay, I have to know who that voice is because they're so freaking familiar with me, so mad. Let me see his face, too. Ah! He's from The Princess Bride. He's the bodyguard of the queen. Joe.
Princess Bride.
Oh,
You haven't seen that.
shut up, I have. But I mean Princess Diaries. That's who it is. That's who it is. Okay. I'm like, I know this voice, and it was irritating me the entire episode. Because I just couldn't place it.
Princess Bride.
I meant Diaries.
Silly.
Mandy Patinkin's in The Princess Bride.
So, now that you know the name, what did you think?
Of the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot. It gave me lots of different vibes from other shows like Stargate, like the movie more than the show, I think. Like the original Stargate movie.
In the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
There's quite a lot of sand in Stargate the movie.
Mm-hmm. And then like a little bit of Indiana Jones vibes, because there's like a professor and he's going after this
Knowledge
and everything. And then obviously there was Star Wars, like intentional Star Wars references, I feel.
I mean,
there's a Death Star outside of the cantina. Like, come on. It's
there wasn't lively jizz music playing.
Jazz, you mean?
No.
Is that what it's called in Star
called
Wars?
Jizz music.
Really?
Yeah.
That's no.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
Here.
Oh, I believe you. It's just, that's a choice, you know.
Jizz is an upbeat, swinging genre of music, most notably performed by Figrin Dan and the Modal Nodes at and the Max Rebo Band. Most notable jizz bands included Bobolo Baker's All Bith Band, Evar Orbis and his Galactic Jizz Wailers,
Oh my god.
Hut, Figrin Dan II and the Modal Nodes, and the Sosnals.
No.
Yep.
Nope.
It's on Wikipedia, babe.
Moving on from that. It is cool, like the little references to other things. Something I liked about this episode, is that I think that obviously the owl spirit is kind of a villainous character in a way, right? He's trying to stop them from doing what they need to do. So he's being put against them, regardless if you want to view him as a villain or not, right? He's opposed to Aang and them.
Well, he's opposed to the abuse of knowledge.
Well, exactly. But what I'm saying is, like, the show is putting him opposed to our protagonists, the people we're rooting for. So he's the antagonist in a way, right?
Well,
you know, I mean, what I'm saying,
our characters are more like antagonists to him, but yeah.
Well, what I'm trying to say, though, is that even though the show is kind of putting him against our characters, so in a way we have to root against him because obviously we don't want them to get buried in the library forever. He's not a bad character, even though he's, like, villainous. Like, when he says...
I mean, he's not villainous, he's just...
Well, no, but what I'm saying is they're putting him in that role. I'm not saying that he is a villain. I'm saying that's the role that he's taking because he's being put against the characters we root for. Do you understand what I'm saying in that regard?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying that that's the role in the simplest terms that they're putting him in. But that being said, I don't think that we're meant to necessarily disagree with him because he is right, you know? Like, humans do, by and large, use knowledge for tactical advantage, for bad things.
Yeah.
I don't think that all humans use knowledge for that, but the fact that some humans do, it makes sense that he is so adamant and against helping humans.
I mean, he's taking a hard line, but they broke the rules.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think that even though obviously we're not meant to agree with him ultimately because he stretches his neck out and tries to, like, eat Momo and, like, trap them underground forever, I think that even though he is the villainous character, again, you know, like, not really, I don't know, like, he's just opposed to the characters that we're rooting for, right? But even though he is that, it's like, and we understand where Aang and Sokka and Katara are coming from and how they need to find this information out because it's very vital for the world, really, to keep going. And even with all of that, they are kind of the bad guys in this episode. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to root for them, and we root for them, and we get excited that they found out about the eclipse and all of that stuff. Yes. But they straight up lied to this knowledgeable spirit, They kind of put themselves in the villain's role in a way because they...
That's what I was saying before.
Yeah, because they... Which is what I was trying to say. It's like it flip-flopped, Because even though he is, the quote-unquote villain, he's not, because we can understand and agree with him. So it's interesting how in this episode, even though we can, like, root for Aang and Sokka and Katara and everything, we can also disagree with the choices that they're making because, the spirit was just trying to guard the knowledge that he had possessed. He was trying to do what Aang does and keep the peace by not allowing knowledge to go into hands that are going to use that knowledge for nefarious purposes, And so all he asked was that they not use whatever knowledge they gained to try to overtake or take advantage of another group of people. And they literally did exactly that. Which, again, we can understand because we know the predicament that they're in, but it still makes them the bad guys in the situation because they're doing the opposite of what they said that they would do, which I think is really interesting because Aang doesn't seem to be aware of that. They kind of seem to be like, well, this is something that we have to do. Like, even if it means that we have to lie and we have to, like, deceive and all stuff, like, we have to do that. And I just think that that's interesting because, again, I agree to an extent that they do have to do that, but maybe in the next episode we'll see because it seems to be a continuation of this episode, but there was no real, like, remorse or guilt for the fact that they have to do this. They have to become the bad guys to this knowledge spirit to get what they want and ultimately be the good guys. But it's just interesting. It's like the road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of thing,
Yeah.
Do the ends justify the means? It's an interesting question that it's kind of bringing up, I feel, this episode.
Yeah. No, yeah. I really like this episode because, like, it puts things about the Avatar's journey in a different context than what we've seen in the past. Like, we've seen, the path of the Avatar be this, force of justice and righting wrongs and making the world a better place and, but he's picked up some maybe not so honorable tactics to get things done.
Yeah.
For instance, in the episode The Great Divide, he lied to those two clans to get them to stop fighting.
Oh yeah, he did. That was like the beginning. I think that was like the first time that he had done something like that.
Yeah,
right?
that we know about.
That we've seen, yeah.
But that was something that was somewhat unbecoming of the Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
But in the greater interest of, settling a feud between these people that have been going on for hundreds of years.
It seemed like worth it at the time.
The right thing to do. But also, like,
is it the right thing to do?
Do the ends justify the means?
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is a really interesting question because it depends, doesn't it? Like, on what ends and what means, So long as the Avatar can trust his own sense of morality, then sure. Well, and Sokka and Katara can trust his sense of morality because that matters as well.
I mean, Aang's intention when he came here was to find a map so that they could, find a way, the easiest path of least resistance to and through the Fire Nation.
Yeah.
But when they realized that all of that information was destroyed by Zhao, then they had to switch up tactics, and Sokka was calling the shots. He found the bit of evidence, the Fire Nation's darkest day, which, I mean, Zhao, he did a lot of concealing of information for the Fire Nation, but he missed out on possibly the most crucial piece.
The most important one.
Yeah.
Well, I think that he probably didn't even go over there. He didn't even notice that bit. He just went straight to the Fire Nation archives, right?
Yeah, but that paper was burned.
Well, yeah, but that was a huge library. He could have conceivably missed it.
Well, that whole thing was like the whole Fire Nation archive thing was burned. It's just that one piece of paper was sandwiched in a way where it didn't get...
so you're saying that it was burned when he fired and then they put it on the pedestal.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that it was already there, and I was like, well, he could have easily walked past and missed that bit. You know what I mean?
That's what I took it to be, especially because it was like burned and not just like moth-eaten or something like that, but because it was burned, that they took it and put it there safe from...
It could have been, yeah. I just took it because, like, Fire Nation, burnt piece of paper. You know?
Yeah.
Not that surprising. But, yeah, you could be right about that for sure. But maybe, like you said, it's a piece of information that escaped the culling or whatever they would call it.
Yeah.
It's like Zhao was very short-sighted. He probably just lit it on fire and walked away. You know, he probably didn't.
I mean, he found the information about the
that he wanted.
The moon spirits. He got that and
Peaced out.
Yep. And he started his offensive against the Northern Water Tribe.
I think too, it's kind of sad, right? Because the professor spent his whole life, or at least a lot of it, looking for this place with all this information. And I genuinely don't think that he would have abused it. Like, he just wanted the knowledge. He just thought, this incredible place where...
He spent his entire life searching for knowledge, you know.
Just for the sake of knowledge.
Just for the sake of it.
He's Daniel in Stargate. And, like, because I compare him to Daniel, and I know Daniel from watching Stargate, you know, spoilers for Stargate, I guess, but Daniel would never find knowledge like that and use it for any purpose other than trying to be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, Jack would take it from Daniel and be like, we need to use this. Jack's kind of like Sokka. You know? But...
Well, Daniel wouldn't be against
he wouldn't be against
knowledge,
using it to help.
But normally the way in which the plot drives the characters to gain that knowledge, Daniel does not approve of. Which normally it's, we don't have time, they're coming, we need to just steal this knowledge and get away so we can save the planet or whatever.
Sometimes, and I love him, I say this from a place of love because Daniel is one of my favorite characters, he's a little self-righteous. He doesn't present why they should keep the knowledge.
A little?
He doesn't present why they should keep the knowledge in the best way sometimes. He'll just be like, but we can't. And it's like, okay, Daniel, but like everybody's gonna die. Like, we don't have time for you to do this right now. Anyway, sorry. I'll try to put a thing so you can, or I'll put something so you can skip the spoilers because I know some people haven't seen Stargate, so that could be spoilers for them if they want to watch it. Anyway, I just feel bad for the professor, right? Because he just gets stuck, and I mean, he chose to stay, but because this is something he's been spending his entire life for, you know? And he, like I said, genuinely, I don't think he would have used the knowledge for anything, but just the chance to learn more about the world that he lives in and the history of the people there and stuff, because that's just, you know, fascinating. And I agree with him. Like, I think that is fascinating. Like, I would just go to that library and be, like, enthralled. But, of course, I'm not the Avatar or trying to, like, stop Ozai. Like, if I was, I can understand why I would have more pressing matters to attend to if I'm in that library. But it's interesting because Sokka is a kind of gray character, you know, like, morally. Aang is very, very in the right. You know, he very much plays by the rules of morality, I think. And Katara does too, really. I think that she's more very into this is right or this is wrong. Whereas I think Sokka has shown himself to be more of a character that's like, the ends justify the means in his mind.
To a certain extent.
Yeah. I mean, he would never do, like, horrific things to get what he wants. But I do think that he is more willing than Aang and Katara to go that extra step, to take that extra step, to do something that other people might, even Aang and Katara might not agree with, But I think that he's like, we have to do this because we don't have a choice. We have to look at who we're protecting. And we have to look at that above what we might not want to do because we don't agree with it. But if we have to make ourselves a little bit morally gray in order to let everybody else be alive and okay, I think that that's a price that he's willing to pay. Even if he might struggle with it later, like be haunted by it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think that he would go too far. I don't think he would go like full on like evil or anything, obviously. I think that there's definitely a line that Sokka is not willing to cross. But I think that that line is a little bit further for him than it is for Aang and Katara. At least from what I've seen. I mean, I don't know. You've seen the whole thing, so you would know more. But that's just my interpretation of him so far.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're looking at me like I'm wrong, but I don't know.
No.
I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments how wrong I am about Sokka.
I'm just waiting. Speaking of making choices to protect people and not always doing what you would prefer to do.
Mm-hmm.
Dean
Winchester, right?
No.
I'm just
nope,
kidding.
Wasn't going there at all.
I'm just kidding.
Toph had to make a tough decision.
Yeah, she did.
Episode.
And I feel for her because I think that, and I'm really worried that Aang is going to be upset at her or Katara and Sokka, mostly Aang. But like, it's the only choice that she could make. She can't see. She doesn't know where she's going. Sand, as she explained to Appa, makes that more difficult for her to feel where things are in relation to her. It makes it more fuzzy, she said. So going after Appa would have been extremely difficult for her. She has to also think about saving Aang and Sokka and Katara. So she made a bad, not a bad choice, but she was stuck between a rock and a hard place, essentially, right? And she made the only choice I think that she could have made in that situation. So I really hope that nobody's upset at her for making that choice. Like, obviously, I want Appa to be okay. Obviously, you know how much I love Appa. But I think, like I said, that she really made the only choice that she could make in that moment. And by choosing to save them, she knew that they could come out and hopefully go find Appa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if she'd gone after Appa, they would have just been gone. And she would have not really been aware of where she was fully.
Well, she wouldn't have
might have never gotten out of that desert.
Yeah, she wouldn't have had the benefit of all of her senses.
Yeah.
Like, they would have been trapped inside, if not forever, for a great period of time.
Yeah.
Like, had they emerged at the point where the tip of the library was sticking out and they got back out and no one was there, how were they going to know
where to go?
What happened, where to go, and anything like that? So
exactly. I feel bad for her, but I think it's the only choice that she could have made in that moment. Mm-hmm. And so
I agree.
I agree with her. I thought it was funny to see her and Appa trying to like have a conversation because they don't speak the same language. I don't think. Maybe she speaks to Appa. I don't know.
No, she was just kind of talking to Appa.
I think she
Appa
was
wasn't
just
really
like Appa was like, I'm itching my ear. I'm like yawning. Like,
although it was funny
when
when
happening.
The professor was talking to Appa and I was like, "Are you the last air bison?" And he's like, "Ah," and he's like, "Ah, spectacular! If only I could understand what he was saying."
Because at first I was like, wait, he understood. Because when he said spectacular, I'm like, oh, he understands what he's saying. And then he elaborated, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't understand. And then Momo was like, let me translate. And he's like, shush, shush, monkey.
Shush you.
Or whatever. And I'm like, hey, he's trying to tell you. Like, you clearly don't speak.
Chatty monkey.
Yeah. You clearly don't speak either of their language, but he was trying to tell you because he speaks Appa's language. Is there anything else you have to say about the episode? Like, I feel bad for the professor too. I said that, but I mean, I feel bad that he should have just taken a few books with him. Like, I understand. I just feel like he's just gonna die down there, and that sucks. But maybe he's content to die.
I mean, he said like I could spend a lifetime down here.
He said eternity.
Yeah, just how much knowledge there is. Like, the thing that
he
been
could
searching
never
for
read all of that.
his entire life was right there, and he wasn't willing to leave it.
He could never read all of that. Which, honestly, do you ever think about that? Like, how you could never learn everything there is to learn on Earth? Like, that's kind of depressing if you think about it.
I mean, you could never read every book. You could never read... You could never even read one genre of book.
Like, an entire genre?
No.
Like, isn't that kind of sad, though? Like, if you think about it, like, you could live, like, hundreds of years and still only be at, like, the tip of the iceberg. Because people are going to keep writing. There's always going to be more stories. And there's always, you know...
And that's just one aspect of knowledge, you know?
Yeah. I think learning things is really fascinating. Like, if college wasn't so expensive, I would love to, like... take more classes and just learn more things.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Like, I just think, like, I could have stayed
learning
in college
is such a stimulating, exciting
yeah.
thing when it's something that you enjoy learning.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not...
It's horrific.
It's the driest, most soul-crushing, demoralizing, frustrating...
thing.
experience of your life.
Although what really sucks is when you have a fascinating topic that you actually really want to learn about and your professor is not the best at teaching it. Because I had a Buddhism professor and I think Buddhism is fascinating. I loved learning about it. But he was the most boring. Like, he made Buddhism so boring. Like, it was really bad. It was really bad. But as a religion / I don't know if it's technically a religion, but as something, like a subject to learn about, it's fascinating.
Philosophy.
Yeah.
It's religion philosophy. It's very fascinating to learn about if you just read the books and, like, watch videos and stuff like that. That all was very fascinating. The professor himself was not. Yeah. Anyway, I think learning is cool. So I like characters like that professor and Daniel in Stargate because knowledge is fun, and it's fun to learn when you have great teachers who can teach you, or just interesting subjects. That's why it's important to learn how to learn.
Yes, how you learn is very important.
Because then you can be your own teacher, and you never have to put up with boring professor.
Although, when you have a really good professor, a subject that you don't think you're interested in can become like your favorite class, your favorite subject. Yeah. So that's really cool.
Like interpersonal communication.
Was that your class that had a really good professor?
Had a really good professor, but also was a class that I did not think that I was going to enjoy.
Yeah. I think that great teachers are vastly undervalued and are so important. Like, I can name, or I can think of, I don't want to like name people, but I can think of like a handful of teachers that completely changed like the way that I thought about learning, or like what I thought that I was even capable of. And so I think that when you have a teacher that actually cares about the subject and the students, it can be very, very important and powerful in a child's life.
Well, definitely. This came out of my belt.
You need a new belt so badly.
It's a piece of Kydex.
It looks like a magnet.
It's not. It's...
I'm just taking... This is not that other site, okay? You can't just be doing that.
Look. My belt's coming apart. It goes in there.
Anyway, I think it is definitely time for us...
Put it.
Oh, I broke it.
Put it... Babe!
I just bent it.
Put it back! It goes in the belt. Bye.
Yeah, we're ending the video now. As always, if you want, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out. You can also watch the next episode right now over on Patreon at patreon.com/CarmenYoung. I'm still doing the outro. He's in Beltland. Just get a new belt.
I found another piece. Look, there's 3 now.
Anyway, I hope you all guys have a good week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye.
What are you doing? I don't want it. What are you literally putting it in my hair?